as Marcia was, I purchased some bearberry. Actually, it was, I think Allison and I went in and ordered some from Prairie Moon, and I put those in the back of my house. And then I also bought some with Christine, and well, not with Christine, but I bought some also from another place in Michigan. That those have not done as well, but I went
The
to buy
stone
some.
crop, right?
Yeah,
Or the
this
bearberry.
bearberry.
Okay,
Well,
sorry.
stone crop also came from Prairie Nursery.
Mhm.
So both of those, I'm very familiar with sedums and succulents. I lived in Arizona for many years and I've propagated many of them, so I wasn't as concerned about that. But the bearberry was new to me. And so that's what I decided to do. And so the bearberry is a beautiful plant. Oh my gosh, the ones I got from Prairie Nursery are so beautiful. And and they say it's slow growing, but for me, it's just like taken off like wildflower. And if you have, it says here, gravel, loam, sand, dry, medium, full, sun, partial. And the greens are just amazing. And it stays green all year. It's very low growing. It only gets to about 1 feet tall. None of mine have been that tall yet. And it spreads by rhizome. And also, you can propagate it by cuttings. So that's what I decided to do with that. And so it's a trailing evergreen shrub with paddle-shaped leaves and flexible branches. It does have really thick, leathery leaves, and they roll under at the edges. It's a beautiful plant. It gets flowers in the spring, and then it gets these bright red berries. And yes, bear do like to eat them, as do other critters. So, but it's a great ground cover for my house. I mean, if you have really, for me, I have a lot of sun, I have a lot of dry sand, and wherever I've stuck it in has done really well. So that's my story on that. You can propagate it by seeds and softwood cuttings, but apparently it's very difficult. It's not as easy to propagate by seed. It is very easy, they say, to propagate by cuttings. So I decided to do that. So I'll show you later when I started all this, but so I just decided to do the cuttings, and I did purchase the plants that I'm propagating from Prairie Nursery. I also I also purchased some from Hartman's in Lower Michigan, which were propagated from the Brockway Mountain, but they did not do nearly as well. And I know that I think Christine, the ones that we planted at Nera, they did better than the ones I have here. They Most of them didn't even survive. So
Well, we did have to replace some. The company did replace them, and I think one of the issues with Hartman's is that they put these really long cuttings in very small pots.
yeah,
So they were not in great shape when we got
yeah,
them.
mine weren't either. And so, you live and you learn. It was a great price. It was, a great deal, but I don't think I got a lot of yield from that. The other plant that I decided is I have if you've ever been to my house, you know that I have a lot of gravel. And in the front, it's north facing and it's gravel and it's very dry. So I wanted to find something that could put in there that would kind of be a ground cover, but not need much sun. I get about 2 to 4 hours of sun probably in that part of the yard every day. And I found this sedum tornatum, which is a wild stone crop, and also a very beautiful plant, as you can see. And I'm very partial to succulents anyways. I have other succulents I have two succulent gardens, and the other ones are not native, but I still love them. Again, loam and sand, medium to moist, partial shade. The flowers are white and it blooms in May and June. It says to space them 1 foot apart. I, I'm really leaning towards as I've gotten in more into native plants is to go closer. I try and do things like maybe a half a foot apart. And it's very hardy. I've had it in the yard for 2 years now. It spreads by rhizome, but you can also propagate it, which is what I decided to do. It's a thick mat of succulent light green leaves. It's covered with starlight white flowers. It's easily grown in any well-drained soil, and it tolerates part shade, which a lot of succulents do not. So that's why this one is so great. It's native to the east and east central US, where it grows in the rocky woods and cliffs, as well as moist forests. It will establish quickly. Space your plants 12 inches apart. Again, I did some of my closer. The first ones I put in, I kind of put them in around um, other, you know, things in that yard. Like I have a Japanese lantern and I have some rock garden kind of stuff. So I put them in like that, and they've done very, very well. And they were very prolific. You can propagate by division, cuttings, or seed. Because the seeds are so tiny, they should be mixed with sand, sown, blah, blah, blah. I decided not to even try that. Um, I did decide to just do the cuttings. And for both trays, I did use rooting powder, just FYI. I don't think I would have needed to with this, but I decided to try it anyway since I already had it out for the bearberry. And in the tray, I just laid any leaves that I had to pull off to get the stem. So what you do is you cut it like 4 to 6 inches, and then you pull off the lower leaves, and then you just stick it in your rooting powder and you stick it in the dirt. And if I had leaves that fell off, I just sprinkled them on the soil. So this was in September is when I started them. So these are the trays. You can see they're just, I just took cuttings and like I said, I use the same soil that Marcia does from Erickson's. And I had one tray that's in the plugs. And then this was actually a tray that I'd already filled and had failed to propagate, to germinate. So who knows what's going to come up in it next year, but it should have the bearberry at least. And I have them sitting on the cement in my front yard where they will get only morning sun. I did contact Michelle from UP Native Plants, and I asked her, I said, should I wait? Should I do it now? Should I wait till spring? Because I said, I'm not going to be able to bring them in and overwinter them inside. And she said, I would just leave them outside and let them overwinter, and they'll, get tough. And like I said, any leaves that broke off of the sedum, I simply dropped onto a spare spot, which is what I'd always done in Arizona as well. So that was in September. And then this is October. And you can see the new growth on the sedum. And even like, I don't know if you can see my pointer right here, but even the leaves are growing. So I'll have a nice, healthy crop if they survive the winter. But I tried to about, I would say about a week before I took these pictures, I thought, well, maybe I should go ahead and, because I could see I had a lot of new growth on the sedum. I thought maybe I should go ahead and try and transplant them before it freezes. But when I took one of the plugs out, there was really hardly any root structure. So I decided just to leave them where they're at and let them get their roots stronger. And but it looks like I'm going to have success with that. The bearberry, also, this was, October 26th. They still look exactly like this. They still have green leaves. They've turned a little bit red, which all those plants do at this time of year. And, they look like they're going to do fine. I can tell you better in the spring what the outcomes were, but, Prairie Nursery, I think when Allison and I purchased the first plants, we paid like we bought like, I don't know how many, but we, they were like $6 a plant. And when I went to look to see about purchasing more, they're now like $15 a plant. I think they're not readily found, and so they can charge more for them. So if this works, I'm going to be really excited because I'm going to have my whole property is going to have bearberry. I'll just keep doing this every year. So, any questions?
Where do you get the rooting hormone?
Um, you can buy it anywhere. I think I bought mine at Erickson's.
Oh,
You can buy it probably at Walmart too. I mean, it's
Mhm.
just a powder. It's a small bottle, about this big, and I literally just dip the stem into the powder and then stick it in the dirt. I didn't water them right away. I just wanted to let them rest. I know that with succulents, you actually don't really hardly ever need to water them because they can rot very easily. So I think I watered these about a week after I put them in. The bearberry, I waited a few days and then I watered them. And I've watered them a few times in the fall here, but of course now I'm not watering them at all. So they'll just be on their own until the snow comes off of them in the spring.
Are you leaving them outside for the winter?
Yes, I'm leaving them right in the, I have that the area in my front yard gets the most snow because when the snow gets shoveled, they just throw it into that first area of my yard. So it stays covered with snow. It was like almost till June this year. And even when the snow starts melting, I will go and, get it from other places and cover my plants as long as I still have snow. And that way they just stay covered, they stay cold, and they stay dormant. And that way I don't have to take care of them. So
so you
that's
don't
my,
cover them with leaves or anything.
no, I mean, you can see there are leaves around them because the leaves just tend to gather there because there's something to catch them. But no, I have done this before with other seeds, where you're doing the winter sowing. And with some of those, I have big screens I bought at the Restore store for like 50 cents each. And I put those over them if it's seeds, but I didn't want to crush these guys and they should do fine in the snow.
I should make a correction on the Hartman's order that we got for Nara. It was actually the junipers that were in the really small pots, and they had to replace some of them. The bearberries actually have been fine,
Huh.
so not sure what happened there.
Yeah. So the bearberries that I put in from Hartman's, again, if you've been to my house, I have this big mound that has a couple trees on it, and it was just covered with knapweed and weeds and all kinds of things. And that's where I put the juniper and the bearberry. And I don't know if it's the bad location, you never know. The stuff I put in the back did great. It's much sunnier there, it's much sandier there, so it could just be I didn't have it in the best location, but the ones from Prairie Nursery did well. So that's where I took the cuttings from multiple plants. I didn't just take all the cuttings from one plant. I made sure to only take 4 or 5 from each plant. And that way, they won't all be a monoculture, so hopefully.
I wonder if the bearberries might have been more sensitive to the chemicals left behind by the spotted knapweed. That's possible too.
Could be true. Could be true. And I'm still pulling spotted knapweed out of that area once in a while, but not nearly as much. We've really got that area covered with a lot of good stuff. So
We should probably try that for our sale sometime.
what's that?
Starting shrubs and perhaps stone crop from
Yeah,
cutting. You know,
yeah,
things that
yeah.
that don't
We can
grow
definitely
from seed. Oh, something to think about. Well, are there any more questions?
I was curious if anyone else has done cuttings from any other plants that have succeeded.
I have not. This is my first time
Mhm.
here. Yeah, I used to do it a lot in Arizona, of course, but
Mhm.
there are a lot of plants that you can do by cuttings. The other one that's apparently very easy to propagate is the red stick osier.
Oh,
Um,
that's what I did this year. I took just cut some long branches and cut them all up into like foot-long pieces and stuck them in, and they were like bushes by the fall. They were amazing.
Yep, there
And
are
I got
some.
them from seed and it didn't work at all. So,
This is AJ. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So, boy, this is wonderful, although I just joined. Did you use some kind of root? I looked on the internet, and they talk about using some sort of root.
I did use rooting hormone
And
um, on these two trays, and I did another tray for a friend, and I used rooting hormone on that. Just because I had it, might as well use it, right?
yeah, so I have
Um,
a gray dogwood, and I'm going to
yes.
try it. I'm going to try that next year.
Yeah, I'm thinking about trying it with my pagoda dogwood. I would
Ah,
I
yeah.
love pagoda dogwood.
So,
It's so
stay
beautiful.
tuned, people. There might be.
All right. Well, Karen, thank you so much. That was
I
really
tried.
great.
Do you want to hear about my rooting?
Oh, well, hi there.
Hi, it's Gisela.
I,
So I tried to root willows, and I left them in a bucket for a while because apparently the willow water is good, and I'll find out next spring. Some of them look like they might have rooted by my creek because I want to prevent erosion. I tried some winterberry. I'm not sure that that did anything. They don't look like they made it. I don't think they're as easy, and I don't know that I did it at the right time. And I stuck a partridgeberry twig from my property into an area in front of our little cottage that's in the woods, kind of very shaded, and that seems to be growing just fine. And all I did was bury one little branch of it because I don't have much. And I did the same, I think with a winterberry, not the winterberry, the bearberry that seems to be growing there. I think that I can't remember if that was a little bush I got when Karen bought hers, or if that was just a branch I stuck in the soil. But it was just I stuck it in outside, and it seems to have rooted. And I think that was just a branch I picked off one of the wild ones that I found on my property.
Isla, did you use rooting hormone or did you just put the branches in the ground?
I think I just stuck them right in the ground.
All right. Good to
and
know.
the
Gisela,
Yeah.
I only did a really fast research because I collected berries from some hawthorn bushes around the community trails at the Zion Lutheran Church. What is that? Glad Tidings. Anyways, I collected some hawthorn berries, and I didn't get back to do cuttings and stuff, but it said on the internet, and this might apply to your cuttings too. Different plants will take longer to take. So be sure and clearly mark and at least allow 2 years. Watch, make an area, mark it out. So these hawthorn berries, I put in a vegetable bed, and I marked it with stakes, and I'm going to wait 2 years and see if these berries take root, because these are native hawthorns, and they look great up on the walking trails. So, and there's
That's
a lot of birds in them after the berries in the fall. So anyway,
that's
don't give up. Just Gisela, just mark the area and give it more time than you think, perhaps you should.
And the other thing I wanted to mention with the bearberry is what I read is that if you do what I did and do it in the fall, then you should wait until the following fall to actually plant them and let the roots really get a good. I did like this at the same time when I tried to check the roots on the sedum. I just pulled on one of the stems of the bearberry that I'd put in there, and it just easily was, you could tell it wasn't rooted yet. So I just left it alone. And but I did read that it takes almost a year for them to get enough of a root structure that you want to put them in the ground. But I mean, if you're just sticking them in the ground, then I guess they just do what they're going to do.
Yeah. Well, all right. Are there any more questions? If not, well then we will proceed to our meeting and people are welcome to stay or go. Our feelings won't be hurt if you leave. And again, thank you very much, Karen. This was really great.
But thank you so much for even asking me to do it. You guys
Oh,
are
I'm
so sweet.
fine.